Every single night you close your eyes and disappear. Your body stays. But where do you go? Scientists call it sleep. But the Bible calls it something far more serious. Every single night. Something happens to you that most people never think about. And once you see it, you'll never go to sleep the same way again. Here is what really happens to your soul while you sleep. Before we get into it, one thing. This isn't a bedtime story. This is Scripture. And Scripture does not waste words. Every night, your brain shuts down conscious thought. Your muscles go still. Your heartbeat slows. You become, for all practical purposes, completely helpless. And that is exactly when the spiritual world gets to work. Job 33:14-15 says, "For God speaks once, twice, yet man does not perceive it. In a dream, in a vision of the night, God waits until you stop talking, until the world goes quiet, until you go quiet." Sleep is not a pause in your life. It is when God has your full, undivided attention. There are 5 things happening to your soul right now while you sleep. Let's go through them one by one. Number 1, your soul is not fully asleep. It is traveling. When you sleep, your conscious mind switches off, but your spirit, it's just getting started. In Genesis 28, Jacob lay down on the ground with a stone for a pillow, and he saw a stairway reaching from earth all the way to heaven. Angels were ascending and descending on it, and the Lord stood at the top. Jacob was asleep. His body was on the ground. But his spirit witnessed something eternal. When Jacob woke up, he said, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it." He wasn't just dreaming. His soul was in God's territory. And here is the part that should stop you cold. This happens to you every night. You don't remember most of it, but your spirit does. Ecclesiastes 12:7. The spirit returns to God who gave it. Every night your spirit returns to the source, to Him. Sleep is not downtime. It is a homecoming. And most people sleep right through it without ever knowing. Number 2, angels are assigned to you during sleep. Not in a general way, not in a somewhere out there way, specifically, personally, to you. Psalm 91:11. For He shall give His angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways. The word charge in Hebrew means an assignment, a specific commission, not a suggestion. Your angel is not on standby. They are on duty. We see this in the book of Daniel. When Daniel was thrown into the lion's den overnight, he came out alive. And he said, "My God sent His angel and shut the lions' mouths." That was overnight protection. Divine assignment during the night hours. And then there's Peter, chained in prison, guards on every side, completely stuck. In Acts 12, an angel appeared to him in the middle of the night, struck him on the side, told him to get up, and the chains fell off. The angel didn't wait for morning. The angel came at night, on assignment. Your home has the same kind of coverage. While you sleep, you are not alone in the dark. You have never been alone in the dark. Now here's the part most people skip over, because they find it uncomfortable. The Bible does not only mention angels at night, it also mentions what they're protecting you from. There is more than one kind of presence that shows up while you sleep. And this brings us directly to Revelation number 3, something that very few pastors will talk about from the pulpit. But the Bible talks about it clearly, repeatedly, and you need to know it. Number 3, there is spiritual warfare happening while you sleep. Have you ever woken up and felt like you didn't sleep at all? Your body got 8 hours, but your mind feels like it ran a marathon. That is not just stress. That is not just diet or screen time. The Bible describes an enemy that specifically targets people during the night hours. Psalm 91:5. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night. The fact that God specifically mentioned a terror by night means there is a terror by night. But here's what matters. The verse doesn't say panic. It says, do not be afraid, because God knew you'd face it, and He made provision for it. 1 Peter 5:8. Your adversary, the devil, walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. He doesn't take a lunch break. He doesn't sleep. He is actively looking for an opening. And one of his favorite times to move? when you are unconscious and unguarded. This is why what you put in your mind before you sleep matters enormously. Whatever is in your mind at 11 p.m. will be in your spirit at 2 a.m. Job experienced this. He described it as terrifying dreams, visions of the night. Job 7:14. You frighten me with dreams and terrify me with visions. Job wasn't crazy. Job was under spiritual attack, and he knew exactly who to bring it to. The answer to warfare at night is not medication. It is not a better mattress. It is prayer. We will come back to that. But first, something that will completely change how you see your dreams. Because not everything that happens at night is attack. Some of it is invitation. Number 4, God still speaks through dreams, and He is speaking through yours. This is not New Age. This is not mysticism. This is Scripture from Genesis to Revelation. God used dreams to warn Noah about the flood before it happened. He used a dream to protect baby Jesus from Herod's soldiers. Matthew 2:13. An angel appeared to Joseph in a dream saying, "Arise, take the young child and flee to Egypt." That dream saved the life of Jesus. A dream. While someone was asleep, let that land. God routed world history through a sleeping man's dream. Do you think He has nothing to say to you through your dreams? Acts 2:17. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your young men will see visions. Your old men will dream dreams. This is an active promise, present tense, right now, for you. But here is the hard question. Are you paying attention? Most people wake up and immediately grab their phone. They scroll before they even speak a word. And the dream, that message that came in the night, dissolves in 90 seconds. Gone. The ancient habit was different. The biblical people wrote things down immediately. Daniel kept a record of his dreams. It's why we have the book of Daniel today. Joseph didn't dismiss his dreams. He held them quietly for years. And those dreams eventually changed the fate of an entire nation. So what do you do differently? Starting tonight, 3 things. The moment you wake up, before the phone, before coffee, write down what you remember. 3, pray over what you wrote. Ask God what it means. You don't need a special gift to receive from God in dreams. You need willingness. God doesn't need perfect people to speak through. He just needs available ones. And this leads us to the 5th thing happening to your soul while you sleep. Perhaps the most important. Number 5, what you do before sleep is a spiritual act with eternal consequences. Most people treat sleep as just a biological function. Lie down, close eyes, wake up. But the Bible treats the threshold of sleep as sacred ground. Psalm 4:8. I will both lie down in peace and sleep, for you alone, O Lord, make me dwell in safety. This verse is a declaration. David wasn't just describing sleep, he was commissioning it. He was saying, I'm handing this night over to you, God. Intentionally, there is a reason the early church prayed at night, specifically, consistently. Acts 16, Paul and Silas were in prison, midnight, chains on their wrists, and they sang. At midnight, they prayed and they sang hymns to God. Suddenly, a great earthquake. The prison doors flew open. Every chain fell off. Midnight prayer, nighttime worship changed everything for everyone in that prison. What you do with your night affects more than just you. It affects everyone in your house. There is a Hebrew practice called Kriyat Shema al-Hamita, the bedtime prayer. For thousands of years, Jewish families have formally handed the night over to God before sleeping. Not as a ritual, as a declaration. This night belongs to you. And when you give your night to God, something shifts in the spiritual atmosphere of your home. Proverbs 3:24. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. Yes, you will lie down, and your sleep will be sweet. Sweet sleep. God-given sleep. Not restless, not tormented. Sweet. That is a promise, not a possibility. A promise you can stand on tonight. So here is your practical assignment. before you close your eyes tonight. Pray out loud. Even if it's just 2 sentences, give the night to God verbally. Ask for protection over your home, your family, your mind while you sleep. Ask God to speak and mean it. Then go to sleep and trust that the God who never sleeps is watching over the one who does. Psalm 121 verse 4. Behold, he who keeps Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. So let's bring all of this together. 5 things happening to your soul while you sleep. 1. Your soul is traveling, returning to God every single night. 2. Angels are assigned to protect you specifically, by name, on commission. 3. There is spiritual warfare, but God made full provision for your protection. 4. God speaks through dreams. He is sending you messages in the night. 5. What you do before sleep is a spiritual act with real consequences. These are not theories. These are not old stories that stopped applying centuries ago. The God of Jacob's dream is your God. The angel that touched Elijah is your angel. The same scripture that protected Paul and Silas at midnight is protecting you tonight. You are not sleeping into nothing. You are sleeping into his arms. And when you wake up tomorrow morning, take a moment before the phone, before the coffee, before the news, before the noise. Just sit in the quiet and ask, God, did you speak to me last night? And listen, because he might have. He very well might have. Hebrews 1:14. Are not all angels ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation? Sent to serve you. That is scripture. That is your reality every single night. The night is not your enemy. The dark is not abandonment. It is where God does some of his most profound work on you, in you, through you. So tonight, before you close your eyes, say something to God. Even just, I'm yours, watch over me tonight. And then trust him. Because the God who made you does not forget you when you close your eyes. He is there. He has always been there. Every single night, without fail. Sleep well tonight. You are not alone. If this spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it tonight.